What's up, everybody? Moving on to lesson 2.2. Last lesson, we learned about the basics and just an overview of all of the different types of transformations. Today, we're going to be talking about specifically translation and reflection. Also, before we get going, I wanted to remind you that over here in Canvas, I have uploaded, obviously, the video isn't uploaded because I'm making it right now. But I have uploaded the slides that go along with this video and also the notes. So please, you can download these notes here on your Canvas page. And so that way you can either print them out and write on them or download them and type them in. We don't have time to wait for this to load, but just a reminder. Okay, just some review. What type of transformation is done here in the picture? Shape A, B, C, D, going to A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. This is a translation. It doesn't turn, it doesn't flip, it just moves over to the right. It moves over up as well. The three types of isometric transformations: translations, rotations, reflections. And isometric transformations means that it does not change shape or size. Okay, our objectives to understand and be able to perform translations and reflections. Those are today's. Okay, review. We just said, isometric transformations, the shape and the size do not change. The image is written with the prime symbol to tell the difference between the image and the pre-image. Now, personally, I think that this is a terrible way to say it, having pre-image and image. To me, I would say like pre-image and after image or something like that. But the technical term is pre-image is before it moves. Image is after it moves, and the image will always have the apostrophe, the prime symbol, to tell the difference of which one is which. Okay, so translations is simply moving or sliding the shape a certain distance in the x direction and a certain distance in the y direction. This is how we write the rule. This is the most common way you will see it. It is written as xy arrow. This arrow means changes to x plus 4, y minus 3. A different way you can see it is capital T. The capital T stands for translations, and the 4 is the x direction, negative 3 is the y direction, similar to like how you would see a coordinate point, right? It always correlates to a change in x or a change in y. Remember, this is just a specific example, right? You can change in the x direction any number. You can change in the y direction in any number, okay? But in this, every point moves the same distance. So if we take a look, right, we notice that QRP here, this yellow shape does not have prime symbols, so it is the pre-image, but Q prime, R prime, P prime, they have the prime symbols, so it's the image or after, all right? So we're going to move plus 4 in the x direction, which means to the right, because if you think on a graph, positive in the x direction goes to the right, negative in the x direction goes to the left. For y direction, positives go up, negatives go down. So for this specific, it's x plus 4, so we would go over 1, 2, 3, 4, and since it's y minus 3, we would go down 1, 2, 3, r to r prime. P to P prime goes over 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 1, 2, 3, P to P prime. And same thing with Q to Q prime, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. They all match up. Okay, so some examples, right? Here's the shape. We're going to translate this x minus 3 and y minus 2. Think to yourself, in the x direction, if it's minus 3, are we going to go right or are we going to go left? It's negative, so we're going to go left. So we're going to take each point and we're going to go to the left. 1, 2, 3. And we are going to go y minus 2. In the y directions, y goes up and down. Minus 2 is going to go down. So we go down. 1, 2. And we are going to now make this new point. And we're going to do that with every coordinate. We're going to go over 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2. There's a new one. Here, we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2. Notice it's on the old pre-image. That's okay. No big deal. We're going to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2. And here is our new shape after the translation. All right, obviously, we all know Mr. Stan, incredible at art. Okay, that is the most common way you will see the rule. XY changes to X minus 3, Y minus 2. But again, remember, you can also see it as capital T, X direction, Y direction. So this here is the X direction. This here is the Y direction. I'm not going to write the whole direction. Okay, so -4 means we are going to go negative in the X direction, which means to the left. This here means left 4. And if it's +5 in the Y direction, that means we're going to go up 5. And we just take all the points in this shape. We go left 4, up 5. We're taking here. We're going over 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a point. We take this one over 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Here over 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. And there we have a new triangle that looks so good. Last one. XY changes to X minus 5, Y. Notice there's no adding or subtracting to Y. That means there's no change in Y. This means no change in the Y direction, right? That means we're just focusing on the X direction. If it's -5, we're going to go to the left 5. Okay, I just cut this part out, right? Every single point goes over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every single point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every single point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and you get the same one. Notice, remember, no change in Y, so it didn't need to go up or down. It just went to the left 5 times. Okay, now doing the opposite. Right before, before they gave you a rule and they wanted you to write a new shape. Now they give you both shapes and you need to write the rule. Okay, so remember, always count from the pre-image to the image. Count from the same letter. Count from A to A prime, B to B prime, C to C prime. What is your change in X? What is your change in Y? So here, think, which one's the pre-image? Red shape or blue shape? Blue shape is your pre-image because ABC does not have any primes. Red is the image because A prime, B prime, C prime. So now we count. Remember, go from the same letter. So let's just go from B. B, we go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 1, 2. So we went left. We went left 5, and we went up 2. So we are going to write this rule as X, Y changes to X. We went left 5. Is that positive or is that negative? It's negative. X minus 5. Y, we go up or we went up. Is that positive or negative? That is positive. Y plus 2. And then we'll put that in parentheses. All right. So we went left 5, so that's X minus 5. We went up 2, that's Y plus 2. Okay, and now we'll do this one, but I'll do it in the other formation or notation. Okay, if we take a look, again, same thing. Red shape or blue shape, which one's the pre-image? Blue shape is the pre-image because there's no prime symbols. Red shape is the image because it has prime symbols. So let's go from C. We're going to go to the right this time. 1, 2, 3, and we go up only once. So we went right 3 and we went up 1. So instead of writing the XY changes to X blah blah blah, remember we can also write big T with little numbers down here. Our X number was right 3. Right, is that positive? That's negative. That's positive. So we can write big T positive 3, and the Y direction went up 1. up in the y direction is positive, so we write positive 1, close the parentheses. These are parentheses. So big T, 3, 1. Great, now reflections. The pre-image flips over a designated line of reflection. Each point in an image and pre-image is equidistant from the line of reflection. Equidistant means same distance, right? Think equi sounds like equal, distant, distance. Whew, I told you, sometimes these definitions, they make a lot of sense. Okay, usually you will be given a little r for reflection. A big R is for rotations, but we'll talk about that next class, right? A little r is for reflections, and then they'll tell us what line it is being reflected across. In this specific example, we see that we are being reflected across the y-axis. Notice this here is the y-axis, right? And we see that each one is equidistant. A is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away, which means A prime has to be 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away. Same thing with C to C prime, same thing with B to B prime. All right, they have to be the same distance away. Okay, now reflections have special rules depending on what line it is being reflected across. And we're going to go over these rules here now. Oh, sorry, I lied. Here's some examples, right? Reflections, this is reflecting across the y-axis. This is reflecting across a diagonal line with that we're going to call y equals x. And then this is being reflected across the x-axis. Sorry, in this one, again, I know that my face may be covering this. This is why it's important to make sure that you also pull up the PowerPoint slide and look at it on your own as well. Okay, so reflection rules. You have a chart on your notes. Make sure you're writing these down. The rule, if we reflect across the x-axis, xy is going to change to x negative y, which means that you just simply change the sign of the y number, right? So as an example, if your pre-image has point A at 1, 3, the image is going to be at A prime 1, negative 3, right? All we did was change the sign of the y number. Now, one thing I want to make sure that you is clear is that just because this is a negative sign does not mean that it will always be a negative number. What if the original y number was negative? That means this just means change the sign, right? So if this was in fact a or 1 negative 3, the image would be 1 positive 3. This means change the sign, not always just make it negative, okay? When we reflect across the y-axis, xy changes to negative xy, which means we just simply change the sign of the y number. So 1, 3 becomes negative 1, 3. Okay, and it's same thing. Just because this is a negative sign, just means change the sign, not turn negative. Okay, if we reflect across the line y equals x, that is that diagonal line that we just talked about, xy changes to yx. That means the x and the y numbers, they just switch places. However, when you are graphing them on a graph, still know that this says yx, but the first number is always going to be your x number. The second number is always going to be y number. So 1, 3 is going to change to 3, 1. But when you plot this new coordinate, right, this is still your x number. This is still your y number. And last one, reflect across the line y equals negative x. Xy changes to negative y, negative x, which means you flip the numbers and you switch the signs. So 1, 3 becomes negative 3, negative 1. Okay, we're going to practice these, all right? Do some examples. Reflect across the x-axis. Let's take a look. What was the x-axis rule? Xy changes to x negative y. So the way that I like to do this, I like to make a T-chart. Xy changes to x negative y. Okay, and we see that point A is at 0, 1. Point B is at 5, 1. And point C is at 0, 4. right? This is our original ABC. Now that we're going to make new A prime, B prime, C prime, we just follow the rule. The X numbers stay the same, so we can just rewrite the X numbers. The Y numbers change sign. So +1 turns to -1. +1 turns to -1. +4 turns to -4. Now we have new coordinates to graph. So now we plot at 0, -1. 0, -1. This is going to be A prime. 5, -1. We go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we go -1. That is B prime. And 0, -4. 0 down 1, 2, 3, 4. That is C prime. And now we have a brand new, beautiful, amazing triangle that is reflected across the x-axis. All right? Beautiful mirror image. Okay, now we're reflecting across the y-axis. So let's go back and check out our rules. Sorry, I got this. When we reflect across the y-axis, xy changes to -xy. So I'm going to make a t-chart again. I'll use a different color. Our original xy points are going to change to -xy. And same thing, let's write down our coordinates. This one here is at 0, 1. This one here is at, sorry, I messed that up. Those should be opposite. It is at 1, 0. This one here is at 3, 0. This one here is at over 1, up 2, so 1, 2. This one here is at 5, 2. 5, 2. Right? And we just follow the rules. XY changes to -xy, so that means we're going to take all of our x numbers and make them negative. So 1 changes to -1. 3 changes to -3. 1 changes to -1. 5 changes to -5. And the y numbers just stay the same. 0 stays 0, 0 stays 0, 2 stays 2, and 2 stays 2. So now we plot our new points. So -1, 0 is going to go right here. -3, 0 is right here. -1, +2 is right there. And -5, +2 is right there. And we have a new shape. So beautiful, so amazing, reflected across the y-axis in the middle here. Okay, now reflecting across the line y equals x. Remember, that is the diagonal line. So if you want to visualize that, that is this line right here, obviously drawn super straight. Now let's check out our rule. What was the rule for y equals x? Sorry, I have a bunch of stuff. It's this one right here. xy changes to yx. So we're going to rewrite our t-charts. Our regular original xy numbers change to yx now. All right, so all we're doing is flipping the numbers, but let's find out what the coordinates are first. For our pre-image, -1, +2, -1, +5. Oops, sorry. -1, +5. -3, +2. -3, +4. Now all we need to do is switch those numbers, right? So -1, 2 becomes 2, -1. -1, 5 becomes 5, -1. -3, 2, we just flip them, becomes 2, -3. And -3, 4 becomes 4, -3. Now, this is the tricky part, right? Yes, the rule says xy changes to yx, okay? But technically, when we plot things on a graph, this is still going to be our X numbers when we plot. These are still going to be our Y numbers when we plot. This is just the rule to help organize your numbers. So let's plot these. This is 2, -1. We go over 2, down 1. 5, -1. Over 5, down 1. 2, -3. Over 2, down 3. And 4, -3. Over 4, down 3. Now we have a new shape. Right? And now we have a reflection across this diagonal line here. Okay? And if you tilt your head, you can actually see like, oh, wow, that is a reflection. Okay, some extra resources. I hope you're watching the video. Here are some extra practice videos. When it says video, that's obviously a video. The ones that say practice problems, if you click on these, this will take you to another link. Loading, loading, loading. Come on, let's go. Hurry up. Okay, when you get here, right, this is through Khan Academy. If you do these practice problems, right, if you move these around, whatever you need to do, follow the directions, you can click check. It says not right, get it correct. At the end of this, look, it's only 4 problems. At the end of this, it will show you a screen showing you how many you got correct. If you take a screenshot showing how many you got correct and email that to me, I will give you extra credit for however many points you got correct on this practice thing in Khan Academy. Okay? Other than that, please email me if you need anything. Have a great day. Go Mustang.